It will be Ford against Dodge and Ford against Chevy. Let's quickly go down to Army. Is there a problem with Barefoot?
I tell you what, Gary, the drama still built. Even when Fred went to the starting line, the motor leaned out. They actually checked the kill switch, but when they checked the kill switch and went to start up again, it wouldn't start. That's why the drama was building, because the crew members had to come out, prime the engine, get him going again. Now, let's go racing.
Well, you have to wonder. Fred gets a second chance. They have some trouble getting that Dodge fired. But here it is. There's a good look at the Barefoot Dodge. Fred Schaefer out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois.
The big question, can that big Dodge who just got fired be like the Phoenix and come back to win this thing?
Come back from the ashes of defeat. We'll find out. Dan Runte staging the Power Wheels Bigfoot. He is second in the Penda Points Series right now behind his teammate Andy Brass.
Every win today has come out of the lane that Runte's in right now. Schaefer has got to throw caution to the wind and go after this kid. It's not going to work here.
Nope, Runte takes this one again in that near lane. Runte takes the victory. He goes on to the championship round of 5:11. And of course, Dan was the fast qualifier earlier today. So Runte wins that one with the 5:11 ET.
The Dodge boys are still looking for whatever they lost from last year. They just can't put their finger on it, Gary.
Well, that has to be so frustrating because Fred was so competitive last year. We really thought that this would be the year for Dodge.
And it's not in the engine or the drivetrain compartment. It's got to be suspension. It's just the chassis. You know, I don't know what to tell you. He just lost it.
Looking again, coming right at you from the crash cam. Here they are, and Runte goes right overhead. Duck! As the Ford knocks the Dodge from competition. So let's take this opportunity now to go down trackside as we take a look at Bigfoot starting to stage. Let's go trackside to Army Armstrong.
Dan, it was really weird when you went out there. A lot of changes going on. Did it bother you, the fact that Fred was coming out next to you?
Yeah, Army, you got to look at it because Fred's always tough no matter what happens. You know, he come back and he'll run a good time even if it is a bad lane. Fred's an old competitor. He's been at it a lot longer than I have with Ford Power Wheels Bigfoot. With Firestone behind us, we just walked the dog.
That's what you call it, walking the dog, Army.
I'll tell you what, that dog was howling. It'll hunt today.
There's a look at Monster Patrol. There's a look at Bigfoot. Now, earlier, Army, you said all the wins had come from that near lane, the right lane. Now, keep in mind, for all intent and purposes, you're right, but that freak victory for Monster Patrol when he was just crawling across the finish line and Snakebite was DQ'd.
Okay, Gary, I mean, all the racing wins came out of the right lane.
Let's see if we can do it again. Technically, you're right.
Now, folks,
I want to clarify that.
Gary's just trying to protect you folks back home right now. Bigfoot is trying to put that Chevy on the trailer. Bingo!
No problem. Bigfoot does exactly that. So it's Ford in the finals. Bigfoot Cruiser a 5:13. Now remember, Runte ran a 5:11. So it's almost a toss-up. There's Monster Patrol, and Monster Patrol's time was a 5:86.
Well, the lane is playing havoc. Who's going to get the bad lane in the final? That's going to be the big question. Replay comes up showing you Andy Brass sits in the middle. He's the gentle giant of this sport. Believe me, he is a driver's driver.
Well, it looks like Runte may have lane choice. He ran a 5:11 to the 5:13. So let's go down now and talk to Andy Brass.
Andy, I tell you what, this thing just keeps getting more and more exciting all the time. Well, Chevrolet did get to you in that round, but couldn't hold you off.
Yeah, it did. You know, we come away with the round there in the wind. You know, we was just trying to pull out a fast time to get us a lane choice, but I don't think we was able to do it this round. So we're just going to probably end up and get stuck in the other lane and just get the best we got.
So a pair of Fords in the championship shootout. The Monster Truck Thunder Drags are part of the Special Events Performance Series. It's a weekend of four-wheel fun featuring something for everybody. Pick up the latest in parts and accessories with a visit to the manufacturer's Midway. There's also several categories of show and shine competition. Contact the Special Events Promotion Company to find out when one of these events will be coming to your area. Welcome back to the Monster Truck Thunder Drags here in Springfield, Missouri in the Ozarks as we're getting ready for championship round competition.
Well, the championship round's setting up, but on the other side, Mike Botters, one of the privateers in the sport, the boogie van owner, driven by his wife, Pam, loads up, heads down the road.
There's Dan Runte in the Power Wheels Bigfoot, and there is a shot of Bigfoot, the Cruiser. Andy Brass is getting settled into the cockpit. We take you back to round two competition now with Dan Runte in the near lane, Ray Porkowski, the Dodge Express in the far lane. Porkowski gets in trouble right here, breaks his suspension. There goes the shock, and he heads for the fence. Bang, there goes the fence. But Ray Porkowski and Pam Vodders and the Monsters were not the only ones in the fence. As we saw last night, Bruce Scott in his 78 Jeep also had some trouble, and he hammers the fence.
Yeah, but I tell you what, the old cameraman stayed with this rascal.
Never blinked.
No, Buddy looked down and said, hey, this puppy's still running. Let's go. I'm out of here.
All 4 wheels were hanging on it. The engine's running. Let's get out of here.
Cameraman's got a death grip on the bar, and here we go.
Tough truck competition now from today. Hang on, Buddy Long, a 74 Ford Bronco.
The finish line is when you hit the big old tire. He's
or
there.
Drive over it.
Or get stuck on top of it.
Another regular in his zebra-painted Bronco. Here is Shane Ballard. We've seen him in Bloomsburg before. Look at the air.
That's a white Bronco with black stripes. No, a black Bronco with white stripes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He's a crowd favorite. Man, can he get some air when he skies in that thing. And here's Daryl Gutter, an 88 Toyota.
A good-looking, basically street truck, and he's not afraid to drive it.
He's got the windshield wiper on. Well, this is the final day of competition here in Springfield, and these guys are letting it all hang out. And speaking of putting it on kill, the big boys, the pros, the Monsters are set up for their final challenge.
Runty and Brass. Sounds like a accounting firm on Wall Street. That's not the case today. They're two bad boys in the Blue Oval Bunch Ford. Ford making a final for I don't know how many times this year. They are really, for such thing as a manufacturer dominating a sport, Ford has done it this year in this circuit, Gary. Yeah, and it's somewhat of a surprise because last year at this time, we really thought that Fred Schaefer would be a guy to reckon with in the Dodge. And the only person to break the Ford's stranglehold on it was a Chevrolet. So, you know, this sport is going and growing, and every week, everybody in their heart thinks they can get these guys. So far, it's not been the case. In the semis, remember, it was Dan Runte's 5.11 to Andy Brass's 5.13 that gave Runte lane choice, and to no one's surprise, he takes the near lane. Exactly. Let's see what's going to happen. We've been talking all day long. It's time to race right now. They were ever so close to semis, which would indicate this should be a real close one. Oh, look at Runte. Not really all that close. Whoa, Runte came out of the... Well, Andy Brass had to make some chassis adjustments. Runte goes at 06. Woo, quick time of the day, a 5.06 on the final. But Andy Brass knew he's going to have to take a shot in the dark, do some chassis changes. It just didn't work for him. He powered up in no man's land. Runte goes to the other end, Gary. So Runte wins it, trying to close the gap on Andy Brass, who's leading now in the Penda Points Championship. We take a look again, and Brass just could not get that truck to settle down in no man's land. And Dan Runte takes the victory, and he's standing by pit side with Army Armstrong. Well, Dan, I tell you what, congratulations to you and the crew. Everybody really had to work for this one.
Thanks, Army. Yeah, they did. You know, the crew's been working real hard between the two trucks. We got to give them all the credit in the world. It's just not everything, you know, to come out here and be able to work with a bunch of guys like we work with, including the guys back at the shop, take care of us, build reliable trucks, along with Ford Motor Company. It's just great, Army. I love it.
Well, here's a treat for you. We'll give you a hedgehog view of victory. Coming right at you, up and over. Now let's go back trackside and talk with Andy Brass.
Gary, we're down here with Andy Brass. And Andy, I know you had to pull everything out going to the left side, but it looked like you got a whole lot of air in between the jumps.
Yeah, we tried something way different that round. We knew we was going in. We had to take the left lane there. We knew the lane was going to be bad, but nobody come out of the left lane with a win all day. So we was watching the times there, and we knew we was gonna, like you say, we was gonna have to pull something out of the hat. So we just geared down low and tried a third gear takeoff, something we've been wanting to try. We figured, well, we didn't have nothing to lose. We was gonna go ahead and try it. We was hoping we could slip a little bit off the line, but it did pull harder than what we thought it would, and it launched us off the set. We thought we was gonna slip a little bit over the first set and could pick it up between the cars, but it didn't happen.
We can show you now what we were talking about with the Ford dominance in the Penda Points Series. Andy Brass continues to lead. Dan Runte has closed in ever so slightly, however. Fred Schaefer back in third, then the Ford of Colt Cobra and Paul Schaefer's Chevrolet in the fifth spot. And Dan Runte has closed in just a bit on Andy Brass.
Yeah, I just heard Runte look over to Brass and said, boy, the only thing better than this is Mama's cooking.
And Mama's cooking's not that far away because these guys